afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Defender of Mankind, Conqueror of Everything. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on Lost Glider, where the glider was, well, lost. In the north, it's Ashablois, fighting here for this, I was about to call them Soviet Commando West for some reason, but no, fighting for the Commonwealth. Fighting here with Vanguard Operations, Tactical Support, and a Royal Artillery Double Infantry Grenades forming up here. The 52nd Infantry Division, 51st actually in the south. It's Jove, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Fighting here for the 21st Panzer Division with Jäger Armour, Spearhead, and Assault Support with Triple Infantry. Double section start here for Ashablois, Grenadiers, MD-42s here for Jove. Heading straight eastwards. Seems enough, he's actually not heading westwards, which is what, like, in 99% of all cases where like southern players will go, it's this part. Instead, Jove is actually going eastwards. That is actually pretty unusual. His build order very much standard, but his opening in where he's sort of directing it is anything but usual. This is very interesting, very interesting. I mean, I think to an extent also, he's actually going for a disruptive start as the Wehrmacht. And part of it is just he's playing in a way you actually don't expect. Very aggressive play here from Jove, and very surprising play. He got Grenadiers on the way more than sections. Managed to get the sandbags up just in time before the machine gun arrived here. A stroke of good luck there for Ashablois before. Yeah, no, I think Jove to an extent was expecting this move, which of course might be wise for doing this, just try and switch things up, trying to avoid the usual maneuvers from the opponent. It's really hard to say. I mean, I just haven't seen this before, really. Universal Colonel one there for Ashablois, very much again standard British opening, lots of sections, Universal Chaos. Some likes to go for the Vickers machine guns, but it tends to be sort of less part of the British metagame. Not because I think the Vickers is bad, but again, the sections is just that good. You don't particularly need it versus the Wehrmacht. The MD-42 is actually very needed. MD-42, the needs to return, is about to get knocked out still. The very unusual opening continues here for Jove. We'll have to see what happens next. Got the fuel put in the east, securing the western one as well. I mean, again, with nothing happening there, which is apparently what Jove wasn't anticipating. I mean, he can just, make some headways there. But again, the main effort is on the east for now. Section trying to run across here the cemetery in an attempt to avoid the incoming fire there from Jove's Grenadiers, but it's not quite succeeding. Back here, we got more Grenadiers on the way there for Jove. Lots of sections moving about, reinforcing, healing. Universal they're mobilised for Ashablois. Fun fact, the Germans actually had a bunch of those in Normandy, converted to being tank destroyers with Panzerschrecks mounted on them. Fun fact. And they are, I believe, equipped to the 9th Panzer Division. In fact, there were a lot of, shall we say, improvised solutions in Normandy in the German army. For example, the 21st Panzer Division had a lot of those. Securing back the carve point here up north. Here we got Grenadiers for the section there. Ashablois is frightfully extended though. Got troops here, got troops there, and got troops over here as well. So very spread out forces. We got saps on the way there for Ashablois, but Ashablois needs to be a bit careful about not extending too far here versus Jove, who's seemingly starting to contract his forces more effectively and setting up for some nastier pushes. No take up yet there for Jove. The shall we say unusual opening does mean that he's getting less fuel right away off the bat. Of course, long term, he will be disrupting Ashablois' fuel flow somewhat, but apparently not enough, since in with this, because it's not connected, he's actually getting, well, not nearly as much. Up north, Grenadiers for the section here. Shots being fired back and forth. Point there not secured yet. Section almost taken out here. Ashablois needs to retreat, grab the eastern fuel point. And we got a mortar on the way for Jove there, probably have to deal with Doug in unison, of course. Just having a mortar tends to be a good idea for the Wehrmacht. In fact, just having on top of the machine a mortar just tends to give you a sort of very flexible force combination or force composition. That tends to be what the Wehrmacht likes. The Wehrmacht is very much about not just the Grenadiers, but the support weapons backing them up. Ashablois here going for the Vickers heavy machine gun, water-cooled. Was used in World War I as well. Even more fun fact, the British actually had a tactic where they sort of aim the machine gun upwards and trying, firing the shots upwards and sort of hammer down. In the end, he basically using them as artillery. It was actually a World War I tactic they kept using in World War II. So, fun fact. Wasp up, that's going to be a bit of a problem there for Joe. doesn't have the tech up yet. Unless he can that way surprise me with Panzerfaust. It's going to be quite a threat here to Jove, so he has to be a bit mindful of this. And it's going to make it hard for him to use the machine gun effectively, since again the Wasp could just drive out and burn it out. In particular, since he doesn't have the incendiary armor-piercing rounds ready yet. So the Wasp is going to be a right pain in the posterior here for Jove. The machine gun's going to have to fall back from that one, already down to half health. Back here, medic bunker sort of ready there for Jove, just needs the medics. South here section versus Grenadiers, noting no bolted units there yet for Ashablois, bit of a surprise there. AC being a requisition, isn't quite there being built. Pioneers in the position in the centre, so Jove so far, no light mechanized company. And overall, no serious anti-tank options. Grenadiers versus the section there, seizing the centre victory point in the cemetery. Grenadiers and watch on the west, and we got the MD-42 they're holding back. But note, not a full retreat there for Jove. Wasp being repaired. Vickers setting up. Section versus Grenadiers here. But as we wait here, the overall situation with the 21st Panzer Division was the worst after it got destroyed in North Africa. Well, you know, surrendered all that. There was some veterans left, but obviously not enough there. And so, more importantly, they lost all of their equipment. So they were basically sent to France to build up, where, by the way, a lot of divisions were building up. They really liked using conquered territories for that. But basically, in France, they were rebuilt, restructured, and all that. But they were lacking soul and equipment. So they actually received a bunch of equipment from a nearby, well, assault detachment, or Sturmabteilung, which then handed over a lot of the converted equipment from French stocks, which included half-tracks and a series of assault guns and self-propelled artillery pieces. Fun fact there. Machine gun needs to retreat now in the face. Oh, we got into the arm-piercing rounds, and he takes it out there. Nice work there by Jove. Nerves of steel there required to pull that one off, but he did and took it out. Very potent. Overall, the incendiary armor-piercing rounds on the MD-42 are really good. AC Mark III almost done there for Ashablois. Fighting on the eastern fuel point again. But right now we can see Ashablois is looking much stronger. Map control again. The Wolf really gave Asher there a strong upper hand versus Jove. And there you go, AC Mark III out. Mortifying to bring down the machine gun position here, forcing Asher to retreat that one. Grenadiers slowly dying here in the church. Jurgen falling out there, the bell tower. And there you go, AC Mark III moving up. I believe that was the heaviest armoured car in the war bar, when actually used parts from, I think it was the Valentine heavy tank, or infantry tank, but that was kind of what we'd call a heavy tank. But technically, the British did not operate with heavy tanks, and sort of as a doctrinal thing, they had, well, light tanks for some reason, but also it was cruiser tanks and infantry tanks. It also meant, for example, they didn't operate with the tank destroyer as a concept. Instead, they called them self-propelled anti-tank guns. Back here, troops reinforcing. More Grenadiers on the way there for Jove. Still not like to mechanized company, no nothing. Ashablois here with tactical support, and we got air resupply operation there, popping in some stuff. But right now, Jove and the 21st Panzer Division here is very much on the defense. Smoking off here against the machine gun team. Gonna do is popping in there. Gonna deal with that. Nice use of smoke there by Jove, by the way. Smoke, I would say, is a really good use. It is a really good skill to particularly sort of actually use it to sort of support attacks and whatnot. It's very powerful and be quite effective in disrupting an opponent's defense, making it much easier to break it. Since if they can't see you easily, they can't hit you easily that way. And for example, it can also just be used to sort of force them to break up, which can then allow you to isolate elements of the defense and then destroy them. Mortar up here though for Ashablois, providing Asher there with a bit of artillery support. Pack 40 for Jove. No light vehicles in this engagement. Grenadiers versus the section in the east. But the use of French converted half-tracks, from French half-tracks to this, which were non-armoured, basically ensured that the 21st Panzer, besides the Panzerlehr, was the only division, well, one of the two divisions, to actually fully equipped with armoured half-tracks, which was really rare. Moving up the west side slowly, Pack 40 almost down there for Jove. A standoff here. Jove is going for assault support, a doctrine he is fond of. Opens up for the upper blitz. Field officers and calls plenty of air support and the Tiger tank. Machine moving up and taking fire here from Grenadiers nearby, and is rapidly being routed. And there we go, we got the Upper Blitz cargo truck out for Jove. And these Pioneers faces off against the AC Mark III machine center. The retreat is very low in health there. Jove managed to save a nick of time there, would have been a shame to lose that one. Asher's going for another machine to help contain all of Jove's infantry. Very good decision, I think, there. We'll have to see if Asher, though, can manage that many machine guns. British players tend to not use the machine guns a lot, and that does leave, I think, tend to leave them, that is, with less amazing machine gun skills. I mean, good machine gun skills are really valuable. They actively use them to support your attacks and defenses. It tends to be a skill you see more commonly in Wehrmacht players, since it's actually required to use them. More firing down the Grenadiers in the west here. We got the Grenadiers versus the section advancing up there. No grenades yet here for Asher to maybe help flash them out. And also worth noting, still no bolted sections, which is actually a bit of a surprise at this stage. Most British players would, gone for it by this, and if they could, they would have gone for it twice. No take up yet there for Jove. Upper Blitz by note here, setting up very close to the base, gives more fuel, gives more munitions. Could have gone for the fuel point here, but possibly feels that would be too exposed to positions. Aims for right next to the base, where it is less likely to be harassed, because this sort of isn't quite where most players tend to go anyways. More important, can just be quickly withdrawn into the base if it comes under attack. Veterans 1 there on Joe's mortar. Ashes, there's already Veterans 1. As a matter of fact, it's high Veterans over there, but I'm imagining it's going to take up Joe's mortar. There we go. Shots fired. Machine gun routing Joe's forces there. 21st Panzer Young Grenadiers here being routed far up north as well there by Ashablois. And we got another section out of Asher. Still no upgrades at all for them. No Brens, no bolsters, no grenades. It is not that surprising actually at this stage. Certainly stands out. Tag up for Jove though. Setting up for the Panzers. And that sense also worth noting is the 21st Panzer Division did not have any Panthers. In fact, they had to rely on, for training purposes, French Somme S-35 tanks, which were actually shortly disbanded before the fighting began in Normandy, so they actually largely only had Panzer IVs and a bunch of spare tank crews, which likely would have been forced to fight as infantry, which is actually quite common in the German army. If you did not have a tank, you could easily end up finding yourself fighting as infantry. Happened a lot of times, actually. Fun fact there. Unless you're a German tank crewman, in which case, not very fun. Machine gun setting up here, though. Vic is close to Veterans 1. Noting, by the way, lots of areas of operations here from Ashablois. Might be where some of that munitions is going, but still seems a bit, well, peculiar. Grenadiers moving up here, light machines hanging up there, and we got the MP42 backing it further up. Very good. Back here, Support Corps is ready for Jove and the Fatherland. Machine gun hanging away from the church. 6-pounder gun on the ready. It looks like Asher's going to be hammering Jove here with double mortars. That's going to be quite a challenge there for Jove, since that can be quite effective, obviously. Seizing back the western fuel point, and of course, eastern fuel point, and now being grabbed by Asher and the 51st Infantry Division, suffering under the assault of the 21st Panzer Division. Ooh, direct weapon the Grenadiers here from the mortar. Note, by the way, the use of barrage. Mortars are much more accurate when you use the barrage ability. They also fire faster, so overall they're a lot more effective if you actually use them as a barrage rather than just have them fire automatically. Of course, not a lot of players tend to use this, so again, they overall, in some perspectives, might be seen as less effective, but again, if you use the barrages, they become very quickly very nasty. As you can see there, did cost Jove a full Grenadier squad, and could see another one here take quite substantial casualties here from the double mortars, which are now hammering away here at Jove and the 21st. In the west, Grenadiers being assaulted here by double sections, no upgrades for them, no grenades, no Bren guns, no nothing. Back here, though, tech happening there for Asher. Can go for Cromwells, can go for Centaurs. Joe's Support Corps is shining in its absence, but I believe it's about to go up there. Yep. And can in fact go straight for the Panzer IV, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Grenadiers the snap by the AC Mark III Eastern Victory Point open to the sections, but might have been misclicked there by Ashablois. Just slightly less accurate click can have there on the minimap if you just use that one. Back here, reinforcement healing. So yeah, we got double mortars here now in service of Ashablois and the 51st Infantry Division. That is, of course, a significant amount of light artillery. Oh! AC's moving down here for the orbital blitz. It seems like either he sort of sensed something's going on, there's just fortuitous timings our way. The orbital blitz is moving away from that. Pretty lucky there for, well, Jove. Seizing the fuel point here in the west or northwest. Victory point being seized, centre point being grabbed by sappers. Panther on the way there for Jove, so he's going to be able to get out the first tank, giving a bit of an edge there versus Asher and the 51st Infantry. Now, of course, the question is, where will the orbital blitz end up next here for Jove? Also, fun side note on the orbital blitz, there actually existed a variation on it used by converting elements of the universal carrier, so that is specifically the tracks, and then turning this to a half-track vehicle. It's sort of meant to help, you know, in the muddy conditions on the eastern front. That was known as the orbital Mountier. Panther going to know for Jove. That's an excellent choice there. Some good assault infantry to back up the tanks. They're doing the best to hold the line. There we go. Panther on the way. Cromwell on the way there for Asher, though. Going to show those dirty hands what for. And there you go. Section flanked by the MD-42. Going to do this with a light machine gun. Very good work there. Panther going to do squad halfway done. Panther 4 setting up. No pin light machine gun yet here. Mortar fire hammering down here. Mortar shifting about for Asher. Noting they've been split up there. Very good. Grabbing the point here in the east. Well, depending on the situation, can be good or bad. Panzer 4 moving out. Pin light machine gun is being added here to the Panzer 4 this time around here for the 21st Panzer Division. Pioneers moving up with Flammenwerfers. 300 points left for Jove. Asher's then in the lead over Jove and Germany. Mortar then needs to fall back here in the face of the sappers. Almost the fuel point there is being rendered neutral. Need to grab that one back. Pioneers advancing. Sappers there on the cut-off point of quickly routed by the Panzers. AC moving in here. A raiding eastwards pack there trying to cut up. It's going to get outmaneuvered. Oh, Blitz could go down this time around. Packing up and directed here by the Pack 40 and the AC Mark III. Panzer moving eastwards. Fuel point still neutral. Cromwell out here for Ashablois with tank commander already added. Very nice, very nice. Panther 4 versus section engaging with machine guns and main gun. Tank through those Tommies. Got the AC moving about. And there you go, it's going to ambush here the Cromwell, or the Panther 4 with the AC and the Cromwell. You can get off a target threat. He should be able to immobilize the Panther 4, make an easier target here. No, does not use it. Allowing the Panther 4 to get in, plus losing the anti-tank in, not good. Panthers might have been the one who did the deed there, but they're right over the machine gun. But can Joe grab the machine gun, or at least deny it to Asher? That's going to help him out a bunch. Going to do some fire from the Cromwell tank. Other going to just make a problem. Going to try and use the church here to flank and outmaneuver the machine gun. But there's a lot of troops nearby that will prevent Joe from doing that. But then he can still open up from the church. And they're going to use their firing with a light machine gun from the bell tower, forcing Asher's machine gun to fall back. Opening up for an injury push on the anti-tank gun. And the machine gun goes down as well. That is definitely a bit hurtful there for Asher. There's that some veterans lost section grabbing it. Sappers moving up. A lot of mortar fire raining down here from both sides. Panzer 4 being repaired. Cromwell taking it here from the Pack 40. The Panzer up by Kanone 40. All Blitzers now shifted over here, seeing all of the raids. He's basically gone to now what he feels is now the more quiet end of the map. That's definitely not a bad idea either. Still, of course, keeping it very close to the edges of his base so he can quickly retreat it inside if problems arise. Back here, could go for another Cromwell. Instead, we got field recovery operation calling in some recovery sappers. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Machine gun coming out the centre here. Pan's going to disroute it. Section occupying the church. Section was going to use here. Still an upgrade for the section. Tons of munitions for Asher though. Bren guns would make a lot of sense here. Or grenades. Just any upgrade really. Would make a lot of sense for Ashablois on the 51st Division versus Jove here. Panzer 4 good to go there for Jove. Going to use advancing eastwards, closing veteran 3. Panzer going to be being suppressed by the Vickers machine gun, which on the hand is taking fire from the light machine gun team moving up the right flank. Air support here ready in the form of the strafing run for Jove. Noting there's a medical supply kit there lying about, which Jove could grab for his grenadiers. Mortar fire landing close, and there you go, grabs it. Also writes defensive bonus and wipes the mortar. Very nice, very nice. Almost got the cover. There you go. Cromwell moving in to retreat the grenadiers. Oh, he's rough grenading the other mortar. Cheeky and gets it. Killing both of Ash's mortars. Can't grab them or even deny them, but even getting rid of the veterans, he can help out Jove's forces. A nice bit in there. Go second Panther fall for Jove. Ash is yet to commit to any armour. Might be an attempt to stall for the crocodile at this stage, which is then definitely, I think, going to prove a bit unhelpful unless Ash can then very successfully stall them from the Croms as well as the Panther's going to do some heavy damage. Air support called in here by Jove. The Stukas are inbound. The Junkers strike. Opening up here, pinning down sappers and mortar crews very rapidly. Samba's value from the Panther 4. Pin up machine, of course, there doing its job. Closing the veterans you want. Sappers are almost taken out. Bit of skirmishing in these. Machine gun being outmaneuvered here by Jove's Grenadiers. Nice work there by Jove. Ash is certainly struggling a bit here under Jove's and the 21st Panther Division's relentless assaults. Great hit from the Panther 4, by the 6 Panther gun taken down to half health. But certainly it's starting to look like Asher is stalling for the crocodile, which, again, considering the current circumstances, might not be the most hotly recommended option. Meanwhile, Jove is bringing up the second Panther 4 to the front line here. Pin up machine gun being added as well. More pioneers to help repair all the armour for Jove. Very good decision. Grenadiers is pressed by the Vickers. Section moving up. Still not great. And Ashablois is floating a absolute surplus of munitions. You almost start to think Ashablois, some sort of conservatives, as running some sort of racket with the munitions. Panther will gain the section, taking a nasty hit on the machine gun crew. 7 kills there. Second Panther force pin up machine gun ready. AC and down repairs as well. 245 is a 336, and that's clearly, I think, going to go against Ashablois since most victory points are now in control of Jove and the 21st. A lot of shots mincing, all bouncing into the Panther 4 here. Not great there for Asher, great though for Jove. And there you go, section of the south being assaulted by the Panther 4, going in quickly here, close for the machine guns, also do some good damage. The pinlock machine guns to an extent were actually used or meant as anti-aircraft sort of defense weapons, but of course they could be used against ground targets too. Gun this was anti-tank gun. Panther gun is flanking up. You got 3 kills there already. Closing in veterans you want. 6 Panther gun there could risk death. But the Panther gun is suppressed by the Vickers on the flank. Very nice work there. In fact, double Vickers up here from Ashablois and the 51st Infantry. Panther following up here. Going for a nice aggressive flank here through the eastern fields. And spots Asher's mortar crew here. That's going to have to retreat soon. Asher very much seems hell-bent on the crocodile now. Almost got the resources, but he's still 3 command points away from it. Differences though between Joe and Ash, and even Joe might not be stalling for the Tiger, is he's got 2 Panther 4s. I mean, that's a big difference there, and makes it much easier to try and stall for it, if that's what he's planning for. Machine gun trouble here with the church, which is starting to look pretty unsafe though. I mean, that thing's going to take not much more than a sneeze and it's going to collapse. Machine gun there closing in on the ace level, but Ash's mortars are doing their best to make things very uncomfortable. Repairs going on inside Ash's base. AC's good to go. Cromwell's good to go. Troops reinforcing healing. Drops. I mean, there's obviously several paths that Ash could take. One is launch major assault down west, major assault down east, or try and break through the centre. That would sort of be, I think, the main attractions. Still, tons of munitions being floated. I have absolutely no idea what Ash is planning with all this. I mean, grenades and Bren guns could really do some heavy lifting for Asher at this stage. I mean, just triple 3 sections there, all of them with double Bren guns, could lay down some heavy firepower versus Joe's infantry, for example. Equip the sappers with the BMs out versus the tanks. It just seems a bit strange here. But Asher's just floating that much munitions. Not exactly what I'd recommend or call healthy. That is a trap certain players can fall into. I mean, some players will just somehow end up floating a ton of munitions because they'll forget about upgrades and don't use their abilities very well. But there you go. Right now, Jove might extend with his Panther taking heavy damage here from tanks and ACs. Shot bounced. Panther there caught and crashed. Panther blitz away, though, of course, that leaves the other one. Use target tread there, Asher. Target the tread. Panther gonna is wiped out. Bit of blow there to Jove. No target tread. Panther 4 safely escapes. Is it some sort of idea to set up at some point for forward observation post and begin calling all the support abilities? Maybe. I mean, that would be interesting. But I mean, at this stage, got the resources for the crocodiles. Could easily go for that now and just do stuff with it. Of course, check you're setting up a good spot for it, either in a building, of course, building a separate one. But either way, if that's what Asher's planning, you know, better get it up soon so you can begin calling in all those abilities because it has a lot of support abilities, really. But so far, there seems to be nothing really going on there for Asher. At least made up some gains in the west here. Panzers are being repaired. Obviously, a tier 4 move. No, we got the Orbital Blitz now against shifting points there. Jove really wants to keep that Orbital Blitz alive for very understandable reasons. And he's being routed here by German mortar fire machine guns moving up. Though, of course, got a big ray to disrupt that attack. And Jove's troops are being met with a hailstorm lead. He's clearly also stalling here for the Tiger tank himself, but at least he's got a bit more to, you know, pull it off with compared to, I think, Asher. He's also getting faster command points for that. That's of course also benefit there. AC engaged here with the Pack 40. Pack coming up here for the centre. Victory points wise at 245 versus 80. Asher needs to sharpen up a bit here. Panther straight ahead to the 600 gun, direct hit. Easily piercing the 80mm of the non-slope armour there on the Panther 4. Direct hit again. There we go. Joe ends up being the first one here, calling in a heavy tank, in this case the Tiger. Rolling out to support the 21st Panzer Division, which could receive support from any number of heavy tank battalions stationed in Normandy. Most likely, I think, would have been at one of the SS Panzer battalions. Of the 101st or the 102nd SS Schwerer Panzerabteilung. Crumbling up, they're close to Victory 2. And she's really close to the crocodile, really close, but still not quite as close, of course, as Jove is, which is in fact right there. But there you go, Target tank getting the section out in the open, Pinlock machine gun being added. Fighting in the east, still no sign of much there from Asher. Again, entire economies on hold until that crocodile can arrive. And of course the munitions are just being floated. Could also been laying down a lot of mines. I definitely feel like the munitions usage here for Ashablois is rather subpar. But I said I really know, I'd say good early mid game there, but sort of fell a bit for apart again due to lots of floating. Tiger Panther rolling here straight. Sappers being obliterated beneath German heavy tank fire there. Machine gun shredding the poor sorts. And there you go, machine gun crew annihilated. They stood no chance. And there you go, Crocodile finally arriving for Asher. And again, clearly it's got the resources there for the forward observation post, wherever Asher might decide, you know, to get it. I'll wait. Crocodile flamethrower tank arrives here for Ashablois. Of course, Trek is still going to be dealing with the Tiger, but the Crocodile can soak up some damage and deal it, so obviously has a decent chance to have as the mighty Tiger tank. Target advantage, strength from the anti-tank and the 6-pounder gun here. Sadly, no saps nearby to pop anti-tank grenades on it. But there you go, taking several penetrating hits, moving up these sides here, trying to make some gains. Chrome being fixed up. Eastern points are being seized, going for the victory point now. 150 versus 245. Target tank Panther on watch here over the west, the eastern calf point there. Crocodile on move here as well. Need to be careful not to leave the flank exposed to the Tiger tank and the Panther 4, but that seems to be what Asher's doing here. And there you go, Panther roll straight into the line of fire. The Crocodile exposing the rear as well to it. That's definitely less ground. And there you go, down to half health already. Should be able to escape the Crocodile, though Eastern since it is much faster. Shot 5, missed, almost got the Eastern victory point. 128 versus 245. Still no sign of anything. And floating 800 munitions. The Jove's all starting to float munitions. So I guess there's a bit more of an excuse now for Asher. They're not a lot. So we'll have to see where that ends up. AC being fixed up, crumbling about there. Looking to make an assault on the centre by the looks of it, where Jove is certainly looking very strong with all of his armoured elements. And there we go, we got every supply operation all out of nowhere. Not quite expected at this stage. Again, we're figuring against some sort of fort observation post and then trying to set out for air support and artillery support. We got fragmentation bomb called in to deal with the anti-tank gun. Nice work there by Jove. Quick strike here on the 6 pound. Oh, both anti-tank and crews plus the sappers nearby get utterly annihilated. Plus the section in the centre. As is getting absolutely disrupted by the huge casualties here, and now suffers further casualties. An absolute horrific loss. But at least munitions got used, but crumble away there for Asher. Still no sign of anything like, fort observation post, any sort of, huge usage of munitions. Gunneries being scored there. Cromwell and Churchill then engaging. Double anti-tank is ready. Panther 4 down to half health. Gunneries being routed here. Could we see the Panther 4 finally go down? Shot missed here. Looks like no. Panther 4 up the right flank. Cut fend here and will likely force Asher here to respond. Still no attempt at target trick. It's actually a bit of a surprise. Most British players nowadays tend to be very sharp about using it, but actually for some reason is rather reluctant to use it. Panther 4, they're gaining veteran 2 as well. There's 2 veteran 2 Panther 4s for Jove. Very good unit preservation and usage of the Panther Force. Second Cromwell almost done there for Ashablois. And the 51st Infantry Division. Still no weapon axe. Still not a single upgrade for the infantry. I'm really surprised at Asher in this regard. Most British players would have gone for something at this stage, but Ashablois for some reason seems pretty happy not to. Fixing up the Churchill. Alright, we actually got some munition expansion. It's designating the armoured cars at command vehicle, calling in some air reconnaissance. Alright. Things suddenly got a lot more interesting. If only I should have done that sooner. I suppose better late than never. Machine coming the eastern victory point. Target tank patrol in the centre there. Shot fired. Missed. Oh, something's bound to happen soon enough. Would be interesting to also then get the forward observation post going here. That's just gonna have to be a dream. Oh, the way, target tank rushing forwards here. Straight into all this. Will be seeing target tread here to sort of mobilise the target tank. Again, 6 Pentaguns are going to hit with a fragmentation bomb. This time they're moving ahead to try and avoid it, anticipating some degree of movement there. Panther 4 or target tank down to half health. Fragmentation bombs to take out one 6 Pentagun crew, but still the other one survives. That's definitely a bit of a bigger win this time around for Asher. Moving ahead with the tanks. Probably should be a bit more careful about these movements. Pack 40 moving up here. Will we be seeing a forward observation post, maybe? Target tank taking hits here from all of the anti-tank guns, more importantly all of the tanks. Main gun out on Jove's target tank. This is a really strong push here by the looks of it from Ash, and of course all backed up here by the AC, which buffs all of the tanks here, making them more formidable as well. Anti-tank opening up. Tiger tank goes down. A devastating blow to Jove here. Cromwell's, Churchill's soaking up damage here. Cromwell down, Churchill down. End up paying a rather high price for the push. Also not enough infantry to really consolidate the advances. Cromwell with a damaged engine. AC needs to be careful here. Panther 4 being head backed up with the pack 46. Pentagun caught in a bad spot as well here. Ashablois has, by the looks of it, extended assault was not quite well supported again. Maybe a forward observation post could have helped a bit. Or at least some, more infantry. Either way, looks like it's the situation is rapidly deteriorating there. Cromwell abandoned. Tiger tank almost ready here for Jove. Panther 4 outmaneuvering the 6 Pentagun, shattering the crew in a matter of moments. And there you go. Second Tiger tank here ready for Jove and the 21st Panther Division. 6 Pentagun number 2 about to go down as well. And there we go. White. And with this, I think it's safe to say Asher is dead in the water. In one glorious armoured push, one charge of glory, Asher lost it all. But overall, they're a nasty fight right here on Lost glider here with certainly some large attack engagements going on, some flanking and manoeuvre in the end. I feel like Ashablois really dropped the ball in the munitions. Definitely should have done more work there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Danes and cheers. Thank you for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.